Now, we're gonna get to the theoretical part, which I could decide to make this presentation like fucking flashy and like tell you about like crazy verticals, which I'm gonna do anyway. But my point with this presentation I'm about to do now, which is a bit longer than the previous one, is literally tell you how we run an Instagram section at that point. Now, the problem you're probably gonna run into is it's theory and it's systems and it's strategizing. So you will find yourself in a position of, holy shit, that's a lot of theoretical info that's gonna come out of it. So I ask every one of you, stay concentrated and really try to understand what we're doing here, because this is the stuff that scaled our Instagram the most. It wasn't like crazy hooks or crazy backgrounds that did the difference essentially, but this is exactly how we scaled our Instagram department from scratch to what it is today. So I got a bunch of stuff prepared for you guys, but to quickly start this off with like one of the most important points is the worst you can do is random stuff on Instagram overall, right? I'm not trying to cover most of the basics here. I think everyone kind of knows how Instagram works. I'm still gonna cover it a bit though. But the most important thing, which is kind of like the mission statement of your Instagram operation, is don't do stuff that is not proven and that doesn't have any backup of data. Again, this is what I mean with theoretical stuff. Because the way most agencies operate, even if they cope themselves into thinking, that's not the case, is they do content where they think it's gonna go well. They think the content is good, but there's no backup, right? Like, who of you has ever run ads for anything in business? Like Facebook ads, Meta ads, right? I think at least half the room, perfect. So you know that ads only perform when the numbers match. You have basically 50 different ads and you see like, I don't know, 5 of them have the highest like CTR, they have the highest call book rate or like purchase rate, whatever, what the pixel tracks, right? So your entire ad system, as we all remember, or even the ones who haven't run ads, you know how it kind of works. You only work with data. You don't just say, I like this ad the most, I like how it looks, or I've seen this with another person, I'm just gonna spend more money on it. That's not how it works. So every single thing you do on Instagram, not overnight, but over time, should be backed up by data, and you should know how it works, if it works, and if not, why it doesn't. So we don't want to post random content because we've seen it with another creator. We don't want to have a random hook that we never tested. We want to be very theoretical and very analytical about this stuff, because the competition on IG is so insane nowadays. Just posting random content that feels good, doesn't bring any results, and you're not able to scale. What happens if you post random stuff is a situation I think every single one of you and us, by the way, has been in, which is you kind of make okay views, and a couple of times per month you get a viral video. Like you have like 3 or 4 videos per month that get 100K, 500K, million, but you can't replicate it. And the creator's like always like going up and down, which makes it impossible to scale, right? Because how are you gonna hire more staff or make more expenses if you don't even know how much money is coming in next month? Now, next up, the next mission statement is if your core is not right, nothing else matters. So on Instagram and overall in your traffic department in the front end, you have to have a very super solid engine underneath. The intrinsic formula behind your content needs to be on top, which is also what we're covering today. So we want to make sure our systems are furbished, we have the data, we know exactly what to do, and then we can scale. Meaning, while this is a very generic statement, this means we're not creating 20 accounts for Instagram, and we don't even have a content strategy where we know, okay, if we post this video at that time on that account, we're going to get that many views, because then you're just guessing, you're kind of gambling, right? So what we're covering in this presentation is our content blueprint, so the 5 things we make sure is in every single video. And by the way, if a marketing employee misses one of those things, he gets chewed out, he gets yelled at. Next up, what we focus on, so the 4 things we obsess over on Instagram department, the overall meta, like the 5 content verticals, the video ideas itself that currently work the best, our 10 steps to onboard creators into our Instagram system, because believe it or not, most of the success that a creator has on Instagram or not relies on the way how you onboard her, right? Because you can have the best system, the best content list, all that stuff, but if she's not working, or if she's too dumb to actually take the theoretical instructions and put them into a video, it costs you 5 times the time and the content's still going to be bad. Basically, how to deal with bans, we're just going to cover it because that's what we're all suffering with, and how we scale the entire department. Now, to get to the content blueprint, I will show you the 5 building blocks every single one of our video has. And I'm going to kind of give a little speech about every single one of them. Some of them you might even have heard about me talk, right? You've heard about these different blocks, but I don't want to just tell you, the video needs this, it needs that. I really want to show how to specifically implement it. Because most agencies know, for example, that videos need hooks nowadays. Everyone knows that. That's like short form marketing 101. But the same, like if I talk to 10 agencies on Telegram, all 10 of them tell me, yeah, like we need hooks. Yeah, sure, bro, 100%. But 9 out of 10 agencies don't have hooks in their videos, so they didn't understand it enough. Now, these are the 5 building blocks every single one of your video needs. to go viral and to get a bunch of views. And this, just to kind of give that presentation here, this is not optional. Like, this is nothing we're like, oh, it would be great if the video had that. It would be, yeah, we should probably do that. No. If you only miss one of those things, the video isn't going to perform, or it's going to perform at 10% potential at best. And we tested that because let's watch this through, right? Let's say you have everything else except the hook. What happens? People are just going to not stop scrolling. Nobody watches your video. So the whole thing went to shit. If you have a hook, congruence, whatever, but it's not aesthetic, it looks like shit. You know, it's like in front of a white wall with like 480p quality. People are going to see it, whatever. No, just going to scroll away. See it like a Netflix movie. If you watch a movie and it's like the worst quality ever, you're not going to watch, right? Same with congruence. If I see a video that's interesting, but it doesn't fit the creator. Imagine I would post an Instagram reel where I'm like, I don't know, doing naked yoga or something. That's not characteristic for me, I hope. But you would also be like, what the fuck? This guy's playing, right? Or if I would do videos where I talk about, yeah, you have to be like an alpha and like try to be like one of the manosphere guys, you'd be like, that's not congruent. I don't see this person doing that, right? Same with all these things. So if one of these blocks is missing, you lose your viewers. They just go away. Now, to kind of quickly cover each and every single one of those things, let's start with the hooks because that's probably the most important one in your videos. You got less than half a second to create a moment that makes people stop scrolling. You need to create moments, right? Or basically, in the agency, we call it a what the fuck moment or wow moment. It's something extreme, something that people look at and they're like, what? Or whoa, and they stop scrolling. Right? That can be, and again, I have a list with like 20 different hooks. I can send you like the workbook of the entire presentations after the event. But text or theme, right? We put a text in the video that creates curiosity. Like POV, you came to the date and he wore this. And then as a curious adult, as we all think, okay, what did he wear? I want to see, aka you watch the video till the end. First frame, also, you can do anything in the first half second, something that happens. Now, hooks, it's not really about, to put this in the right words, doing something specific. I've talked about like throwing panties at the camera, spilling a glass of water, like holding a cat in the video and then like dropping her off, whatever it is. In the first frame, you want to make sure the entire product, like the cover of a book or like the profile picture of someone on Instagram DMing you, that's the same thing. You want to make sure the first look of the video makes you intrigued. You want to watch it, right? If there's cool LEDs, it looks super aesthetic, you watch it. Or something extreme. For example, if I post a reel of this entire speech, people are going to see, well, okay, there's a guy on stage, there's people listening, there's a cool presentation, and there's like a big fat text that says OFM basics or whatever. They're probably going to start watching because it's a pattern interrupt. Not everyone creates reels on a fucking stage, right? Movement also, you want to make sure that the ADHD brains of your viewers get satisfied, right? You want to give them as much dopamine as possible. So you also can have a hook where the creator is super fucking aesthetic. He's jumping around, falling from a different angle, or even the sound can make the hook already way stronger, like a big fucking explosion. You get the point. I could talk about different hooks for the next 30 minutes. I'm not going to do that because it's just a creativity thing. But like I already said, if your video doesn't have a hook and not a good hook specifically, no one's going to watch it, right? Most agencies do the mistake. They have a crazy video, and all of us know this. For example, let's take a flash trend, right? Everyone knows what a flash trend is, I assume, right? Okay. Cool. So flash trend, basically the creator's like jumping around in her outfit, right? Like, okay, cool. And then at the last second, she takes her bra off. Or last second, she basically opens herself. What 9 out of 10 agencies fuck up every single time, every single one I talk to, is they don't create curiosity and they don't tell people that something is about to happen. Because if people just see the video without any text, without any hook, they're going to watch for 3 seconds, nothing happens, and they're just going to scroll away. So you as the agency have to make sure if you have something crazy happening in a video, she's showing something about herself, she's dropping something crazy. Let people know something is about to happen, so it's worth the wait, right? If I watch a Netflix movie and it's fucking boring, I'm going to scroll away. I'm going to be on my phone after 10 minutes. Like, this is a terrible trait I have. But if I see a Netflix movie, in the beginning they say, oh, we're preparing for a big heist, for a big shooting or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a chance. Like, I want to see the heist. It sounds interesting. Cool. Next up, we have the aesthetics. Now, this is where it gets a bit individual, and this is not going to be your main focus when you're just starting off Instagram Reels. But as someone who, and maybe you could tell by my YouTube videos, I don't really like this type of theory. I like crazy marketing concepts, crazy shit happening. I don't give a shit about lighting or angles or depth in videos. I'm not a videographer, right? But if I can stand here and admit this is probably one of the biggest leverages we had, then you can trust me on that, right? In your videos, you need natural lighting. Most of you just have a ring light, it looks shit. You need to have some background colors. There's a bunch of YouTube videos and ChatGPT articles above that. But if you have $200 to invest for a creator, get them some ambient lighting in the background, get them a good like softbox or whatever for the videos, like you can, by the way, see there, as you can see, the people in the studio do it right. This is gonna make the aesthetics so much better because it's just more fun to watch. Right, wardrobe and styling is something that I've covered, I think even in the recruiting course, because all of you watched it. But you as the agency, just to kind of get that topic out the way pretty quickly, you're responsible for how your creator looks. Like your creator has probably every female in your agency, a big fucking wardrobe of 100 different clothing pieces. And your creator, 99% of the time, can look super hot. But if she doesn't, that's your fault. Because you as the agency, your mission statement for like your creator's wardrobe and styling is to hide her weaknesses and show her strengths. So if you have a creator that has a bit of belly fat, for example, it is your job to specifically give her outfits that are not crop tops and maybe videos that are filmed above the waist. If she has a super cute face and like big boobs, okay, this should probably be the focus of the video because that's her USP, that's her unique selling point, right? So you're responsible to give your creators instructions on how to dress and how to style, obviously with her consent if she's not able to do it herself. Find out what outfits work for her, find out what outfits people like and what basically hide her weaknesses and show her strengths, right? Because this may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. If your creator doesn't look hot in the videos, you're just losing money. Props and background, again, I think this is pretty obvious. Don't record videos in front of a white wall. Have little things. For example, little plushies or glasses. We have so many videos, in fact, I can like show some of our models later, where she's recording it in her living room and we just open up the fridge in the background. Like, for example, if this was like a fucking reel, it was like way more in the background. That was just an open fridge with like some open milk and some other things that look colorful. And we recorded the same video 2 times with the exact same thing, but in one the fridge was open and the other one the fridge was closed. Guess which video got 3 times the views? Of course the one with the fridge, because people look at it and you have to think in like aesthetics. It's kind of like coins for watch time. Every single item you have in your background, like a plushie or an open fridge, anything that makes the video more interesting, buys you half a second of watch time. Because people are gonna look at it. Why is the fridge open? Okay, let me look. Oh, what the fuck? What's in there? Okay, cool. Every single like clothing piece or glass or pet you have in the background buys you 1 second of watch time. So if you have like 5 different interesting things in the background, let's say the open fridge, her dog's running through it, we have an open glass of milk, we have a bra that's laying on the kitchen counter without the apartment looking super unclean, and we have a fucking TV playing Family Guy, right? That's already 5 seconds of watch time you gain extra to do a little bit of girl math here. Last but not least, depth and angles. This is where it gets a bit more professional with the things, but for example, this background here is super shit because there's no depth, right? You just look at me, there's a wall, cool. But if I would stand there and I got all the depth behind me, for the human eye, that's way more interesting. Again, I'm not trying to be Mr. Camera guy here, but trust me, get your creators to film it in front of an open room or with a bunch of shit behind them. Your watch time is just gonna double at a certain point. So this is how important aesthetics are. Point 3 is congruence. So, do you believe this person is real? Do you believe what they're telling you? Now, obviously, you as the agency or your marketing guys, before posting a video, look at the video, really look at it and ask yourself, could she post this on her personal IG? Does the vibe match how she looks? Again, if you have a blonde, petite creator who's in real life, she's super shy, and you make her do like a super crazy dance, people can feel that this is unauthentic and they don't like it. This is why most OFM guys have a picture in their Telegram, I don't mean to call out anyone, where they smoke a cigar and they look like Andrew Tate and like Tony Robbins had a child. But in person, they're like super shy, like, hi bro, nice to meet you, right? Not trying to call out anyone, but it's just unauthentic. And like people can feel that. Imagine this as a reel, it wouldn't perform. And if the answer is yes, it's congruent, but if not, redo the reel because it's just gonna burn your audience. There's so many creators right now on Instagram that post videos that in theory they're good, but you just feel that's not them. You feel they are trying to be a person to make OF subs, which is, by the way, what subs hate the most. They hate being tricked because you essentially trick them. So congruence is super fucking important, and I could tell you all the little things to look out for, but in the end it's just gut feeling. It's just you looking at the video objectively without being industry blinded and finding out, okay, like, am I buying that or not? It's as simple as that. And if not, it's not gonna work, right? So, like I already put here some examples here. Like, if it looks like a fucking school project you did in school, like, oh yeah, my crazy dating story, I was dating this guy, and you already lost the viewers, right? Now, for all of these things that I mentioned so far, right, all the building blocks to kind of like go towards the next topic, you have to basically have each and every single one of them at least be a 8 out of 10 if you are able to rank them. Because After showing you all the building blocks so far, without coming like to the next ones, you want to pick one factor per video for each one of those things. So, for example, let's say we want to get a hook. We want to pick her appearance being the hook, like how she looks. For example, if she has super big boobs, there's creators that have enormous boobs, right? Which is an amazing hook, by the way, the easiest one in mankind. Okay, this is going to be our hook. For example, there's like Carly Jane is one of those creators who just every single video she starts with, she's just like jumping up and down so her boobs jiggle. That's her entire hook system and it works perfect. But there's other creators who have a crazy movement every single time. Like they jump into the video, and again, the demonstration is going to be a bit weird, but they jump out in front of the camera, Mr. Beast style, or a crazy text. Never try to stack that. Right? Because if you do too much of these things, you essentially get zucked, which effectively means either if you're too sexual, which is kind of a different topic, you get banned. But on the other hand, if you have too much shit going on, people are more confused and then it's not authentic anymore. Because then people feel like you're trying super hard to get their attention, just to get that out of the way. So if you're trying to get every single thing of these building blocks into an 8 out of 10 at least, don't try to overdo it. That's the overall point, pretty basic. Now, the next thing is our watch time, which all of us know how much Meta cares about people watching your video. But to kind of quickly rank, and I've talked to a bunch of people that are very, very deep into the algorithm thing, this is how IG currently ranks who to show your video for and if they should show it to more people. Because for those of you who don't know, the way Instagram works is they're kind of letting you run through different trial stages. So the second you upload a new Instagram reel, it's not just going to be shown to the broad public like all at the same time. They have different target audiences and they're going to progress through each and every one of them. Meaning, I upload an Instagram reel now and there's, let's say, 300 people from my core follower list that watch every single one of my videos that are going to see the video first. If they engage with it, they like the video, Instagram thinks, okay, his biggest fans, they already like the content, let's go to the next level. People who follow me occasionally watch the video and so on. If they engage enough, watch enough, it goes to non-followers and then to a broader audience, etc. This is how you see the more views a video get, the more broader the audience gets, right? So in order to go through these stages and get the video to a point where Instagram just thinks, bro, everyone loves this video, we're just going to blast it out there. This is when you get the 1 million views, the 5 million views, the 10 million views. Watch time, best rank out of all. If you're able to get a high watch time, which is what we're trying to get with the hook, the congruence, the aesthetics, all that stuff, you have the best chance to go through there. Next up are profile visits, so people checking out your video, being like, oh, this chick's hot, I'm going to click on a profile, makes sense. And shares also. Now, these are the top 3 that you want to aim for. Let's say with point 4, long form comments. Now, long form comments, to quickly highlight what I mean by that, means people not just commenting with an emoji or, oh, you're so hot. People giving an opinion, people saying, that's actually not true. This is what you're trying to get with rage baiting. For example, we've had a video that we dropped where the creator was trying to rage bait the people. She said, well, the biggest ick in 2026 is when a guy comes to the date in jeans, for example, which is obvious rage bait, right? And all of the people in the comments were writing like these paragraphs about how jeans are not an ick and actually she's a bad person and she has to kill herself, all that stuff. But this is the type of comments that on the one hand, Instagram recognizes your video actually gets people engaged. They can differentiate between the type of comments you get. But also, if someone sees this video and they scroll through the comments, what happens? The video plays again and again and again in the background. So long form comments are basically the top 4 in terms of getting Instagram to show your video to more people. Everything after that, so saves, likes, or people who just comment random emoji comments, all the fucking Indians, that stuff's basically irrelevant. So it helps, but we all have videos that get like 3 times the likes than per usual and the video still fails. Instagram doesn't care about likes, they don't care about saves, they don't care about emoji comments. The top 4 is what you specifically want to target with the building blocks that we talked about so far. Now, obviously, quick little tips on how to get the watch time high, except all the stuff I mentioned so far. Make sure every single 2 or 3 seconds there's something happening. Every single second should be interesting, but you want to have a certain change in the video every 2 or 3 seconds. It's just a little cheat code that we discovered. So a little cut or her, like even if you have a talking video, we had this experiment run. We had a talking video where every 3 seconds she removed the part of clothing or put something else on. So she started talking while she took off her jacket, like, this is the worst way on how to do this. Okay, then she kept talking for like 1 or 2 seconds. Then she put on a scarf, then she put on a hat, then she removed her belt, all that stuff. Super fucking autistic. But this video got super fucking viral because every second there was something happening. Obviously, like I already said, also brings you rewatches. So people watching it multiple times. So watch time above 100%, 200, 300%, which Instagram fucking loves that. Like, I can't stress this enough. Getting people to watch your video a couple of times is essentially like Christmas for Instagram because you prove you can keep people on the platform. Meaning, the way you get that is either have so much shit going on that people don't even know what the fuck's happening. So, like I said, dog running through the picture, her taking off clothes, a glass of milk spilling, to kind of put it into very simple terms. So people have to watch, what the fuck was the dog doing? Okay, let me watch again. And what the fuck was even out with the milk? I'm gonna watch again. So you get people to watch it over and over and over again. Perfect. Or if you have good comments as well. Now, these are our 5 building blocks that every single video needs to have. And again, they're not optional. So you're gonna find yourself in a position where, especially after this event, you're probably going to have trouble putting all of these together. And the quick advice before I go to the next chapter, quick advice I can give is just focus on one of those things and have the rest as good as it can be. Because you can't have a banger hook, banger watch time, and banger aesthetics all of the time. It doesn't work, right? You can't just have a video idea that's perfect. It's never. But have one focus per video. If you have a video where she's like talking, for example, and you want to test that vertical, focus on having, let's say, something happening every single second. Focus on watch time. This is a watch time video. If you have a video where she's like doing a dance, focus on aesthetics. This is a purely aesthetic video. This is your overall goal. And the rest needs to be there, like I said, 8 out of 10, and one of these things needs to be a 10 out of 10. So otherwise your head is going to explode, because I've tried for 6 years and I haven't succeeded yet. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what we focus on specifically on these building blocks in our Instagram department. First one are our hook variations. I've tested this with a bunch of agencies, by the way, and every single one of them made more subs because of that. But there was literally no exception, which is very rare. There's always the one idiot who fucks it up. But funnily enough, that wasn't this time. What we did, first thing, was to kind of copy swap, right? Like I already said, with the Facebook ads example, what's up? Like I already said with the Facebook ads example, you really want to be the numbers guy about this. You want to be the fucking nerd who has a spreadsheet with 50 videos that you tried out, every single hook variation, okay, movement, text-based, aesthetic-wise, like we all talked about, right? You want to have a spreadsheet and test these hooks on different videos. Again, for those of you who ran ads, this is what you've been doing for ages, right? This is exactly how you run ads. You just have like 10 hook variations, 10 middle of the video, 10 CTAs, and you just put them together like a little puzzle. Trust me, this system is goated for that. We get so much more like watch time on our videos just by stopping to treat it like a random content list that we do each day, but by having a tracking sheet where we planned all of our videos, each and every single hook. Next one are close-ups. So zooming into key details, new angles, new impact, right? So we always try to kind of focus the video on different things. Let's take the refrigerator example before. So we started videos by just being fully zoomed in on the refrigerator, and then it goes up and shows the crater. Why does it work? Because it's so stupid, everybody wonders why the fuck would you zoom in on the refrigerator, and they'll watch it a couple of times. So stupid it works. Next one are our reveals, like we already talked about. You want to make sure people expect something at the end of the video, otherwise they're just going to scroll away. So the easiest thing we always did, and it keeps working after 5 years, just create some FOMO, right? Oh man, you won't believe what happened to me at Starbucks yesterday or whatever. Okay, I want to know what happened at Starbucks, I go there, right? Or POV, he came to the date in this, or POV, now you regret your breast surgery or whatever. Now everyone's hooked. Right? Last but not least, obviously effects are also a very good thing that once we tested it had like the highest success rate, right? So any single transition, flashes, animations that if you have video editors, they're fucking amazing at that. Or if you're kind of good enough to edit your videos yourself, just test around with it, because this is what the like swaps in the hooks make so perfectly. You can literally say, okay, the next 10 videos that we do, we're gonna have 5 that have the usual hooks that we always do. We're gonna have 5 videos where we test one effect each. The first video has like a big fucking explosion in the beginning, for example. The next one has like a fire, the next one has like a flash in the beginning, and you can just see the numbers. You can see in the analytics on Instagram or in the edits app off of IG, you can see exactly how each and every single one of those hooks performs, because maybe 4 of those fail horribly. It was a shit idea from the beginning, but the video where you had a flash in the beginning gets like, I don't know, 10% more watch time. Okay, cool, let's try this in different variations, and so on and so on. The second thing we focus on is obviously unique content. I'm sure most of you have heard me talk about this, but we're currently at a stage where Instagram is like a communist country. Like there is no exceptions. Every single piece of content that has already been used before, where Instagram can find a connection to a different account that has already used it, it's not a question if you get banned or restricted, but when. And especially now where it takes more and more time to build up an Instagram account, you're cooked if you lose accounts every 2 or 3 months, or even currently like every single month. So Instagram has a compounding effect, as all of us know. So the longer the accounts survive, the more they grow exceptionally. So our goal is to have every single piece of content be unique, because it boosts your algorithm. In fact, unique content does get pushed harder. You don't face that many bans, and Zuckerberg isn't destroying your entire agency, but also you're able to focus on more quality, because there's a lot of agencies, I think especially last year, that try to kind of crack the formula by just saying, well, our videos are shit, we're not able to get any views, so we're just gonna upload like 5,000 videos per day in order to get some money, which is essentially the cope hope instead of doing good content overall. But especially nowadays, like we already talked about, right? This whole building block thing, I didn't make that up. This is something that we fucked up before, and once we implemented it, we made 5 times the views. So this whole quality over quantity thing is way more important now. So if you're still focusing on getting as many videos out there as possible, you basically forgot the first mission statement that we set, which is if your core isn't right, you are not eligible to scale. So if your core, the videos itself, which is your biggest leverage, which is the thing that's going to determine if you make money with Instagram Reels or not, if that's not fully optimized and if that's not proven to work, the entire volume game, the entire quantity of it is irrelevant, because you can post 3,000 videos, each video gets like, I don't know, 2 views, you now make probably like 1 subscriber at best. But if you have, let's say, 4 or 5 accounts where you post 1 video each, and each video goes up to 50 to 100K, you make a fuck ton more of subs with less input that you have to give as the agency has. Third thing that we focus on is our content lanes. Now, I'm gonna basically put this into a framing that works in every single business field. I don't know who of you has had, like, I saw some people running ads before, but I'm gonna put this into perspective for that. Tofu, mofu, and bofu, which sounds absolutely insane. Sounds like my 5-year-old cousin made that up. But what tofu means, top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. Kind of like how you get people to recognize you and end up at the OnlyFans. Before I go to the specific things, let me just quickly clarify that, because that's a marketing concept that worked for ages, even in other businesses. Top of funnel are videos that are trying to get people to be made aware of us, right? These videos are not made to funnel people to the OnlyFans directly, because you can't always reach millions of audiences and funnel them all to an OF. Mostly doesn't work like that. So our top of funnel is made for awareness. It's made for reaching new audiences, getting as many views as possible. Our middle of funnel is basically warming those new people on our page up to her character, building a connection, also converting like the best ones. But most of them just start liking her, because as you know, like people need a bit, normally people say you need 7 touch points with a brand before you buy. And OnlyFans is definitely a bit less, but you still need more than 1 touch point, more than 1 reel to convert them. And your bottom of funnel is videos made for conversion that naturally are gonna have less views, but they're gonna bring you the most subs. So even if you look at my YouTube, by the way, which I'm making YouTube videos and funneling them into Club 17. I do this shit for years. Like probably, most of you found me through different shit, but my top of funnel are videos that get a bunch of views. Sophie Rain, marketing strategy exposed, right? Which is not an OFM topic, you just get new people into it. My middle of funnel are just guides, like Twitter guide, Instagram guide. That's basically shit. You look at it, it helps you, cool. You hopefully like me more. I mean, you ended up here. Must have worked to a certain degree. And my bottom of funnel videos are, for example, let's say I'm showing case studies of people in Club 17 or whatever that's converting you, right, in theory. So what I mean by that is your top of funnel can, for example, be trial reels. Trial reels, for all of you who don't know, which I think is very few, help you just be shown to non-followers. So having 1 or 2 daily free trial reels, re-record the videos that have performed on the account before, right? They're gonna get you the most awareness. They're gonna get shown to all of the new people that don't know you before. They're not gonna convert people immediately. Like you don't wanna look at, oh, our trial reel got 50,000 views but no subs, it doesn't work. But it's not how that works, because people follow your account, and even if not, the algorithm now knows they like your content. So they're gonna see your next reel and the reel after this and the reel after this. So trial reels essentially just get you a shot at getting people into your ecosystem. Now, normal content, I just call it algorithm content because it's very broad and this concept does have certain limitations in OFM. All of the shit you do normally, like we just talked about, right? The different verticals you test, this is your main content, which still drives more people, don't get me wrong, but this is the type of stuff, depending on which area you do, that gets people to like you, gets people to see, oh, this chick again, I like her. I mean, most of you know this who do Instagram real research. You like one video of one chick, you see her content for the next 2 weeks. Every single time she pops up again. Same with other videos that you look at. So your algorithm content is obviously still converting people, but it's meant for warming them up. And here and there, you don't want to do this every single day, right? Conversion content should happen every couple of days. But these are direct pitches. And I don't mean that she's doing a webinar on how to subscribe to our OnlyFans, or that she's doing a video where she says, oh, by the way, my OnlyFans is 50% off. That's not going to work and probably going to get banned, most likely. But conversion videos could be videos where she's more sexual. She's specifically sexual. She's showing specific videos, or she's talking about her secret side, maybe, even though I'm not a fan of that directly. But they are made to not get a bunch of views. They're going to get like 50% of your average views, but they're going to convert the most people. And you will see what drives conversion. Again, you can test that individually. What brings the most conversion? Is it her outfits? Is it if we show her tits? Is it if we show her face, her ass? Is it if she tells a sexual story, for example? We have one creator, her highest converting videos are when she's giving like a story time of a date that is extremely sexual. sexual and she acts like she's super easy to get. Like, yeah, I went on a date with this guy and after 5 minutes I wanted to go to the hotel with him and do this and do that. Yeah, they're super freaky. And people love it because they think, wow, now I got a shot, right? She's like, yeah, I just started talking to him and he was in the same city, so I went on a date. This is what gets people to the OnlyFans in her case, right? But these are essentially our 3 content lanes. Everyone just ignore that I wrote 2, by the way. Appreciate it. These are our 3 content lanes that essentially highlight the funnel that we have. You don't have to now go home to your agency and think, oh, which video is top of funnel, which is middle of funnel. You don't have to be that nerdy about it. But just keep in mind that every single video you do has a different objective depending on how the video works, what you want to do with it. So don't do the mistake that most agencies do, which is treating everything in terms of views. If a video gets less views, oh, it automatically didn't work. But you want to take a look at all the KPIs so you can find that out. Now, 4th focus that we had was our daily execution. Now, I already talked about this, if you remember. Like with all the building blocks that we had, I already said that every single one of those blocks gets monitored, and let's say one guy of my marketing team schedules a reel and it goes online. I wake up in the morning and I look through the reels on the creator, and if I see, okay, it has a good hook, it's aesthetic to a certain degree, it's congruent, but let's say the video is boring after half of it. Like not every second is interesting. Then the employee gets in trouble and he is monitored to have every single one of these blocks in there. Meaning how we basically build our daily execution in the marketing. And again, it's individual. Some of you have a marketing team that you can just give this to. Some of you do it with your partners. Some of you still do it yourself. It doesn't matter. But we track every single task that is being done. Even if you just have a partner, track each other, right? It helps. We track every single thing that needs to be done, every video that needs to be tasked, every single spreadsheet that needs to be filled out, every single thing that we ordered for the video. Everything has a deadline and everything's documented, because it sounds fucking boring. I get it, out of all people, trust me. But the second you wake up as an agency owner and before you can even go to creating a content list, you have to message 5 different people like, hey, did this item arrive so we can make videos with it? You have to text the creator, hey, are you healthy again? Can you record content again? Whatever. Like you're gonna waste an hour before even getting to work, and then you're gonna thank me for telling you to track everything. The second thing is our daily performance review. Like I already said, every single day, every single one of our team members, but also ourselves, we track the performance, we track the numbers, we track, did we have the entire checklist, which I can send to you guys, by the way, if you text me on Telegram. I have a whole checklist of like the video blocks that we have. Every single thing, did it get implemented? If not, why? If yes, how did it perform? How did the numbers go? What learnings can we get out of it? Like a daily sync call I have with my team, or you can have with your partner, or even with alone if you want to. The third team is our daily team feedback, which I already covered, so I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I have this very strict rule in the agency that I only started implementing like 6 months ago to that extent, but every single person who works for me, and even myself, every single one gets feedback every 24 hours. There's no way around it. It doesn't matter how it happens, it doesn't matter how sick I am, how sick my supervisors are, everyone gets daily feedback. Because the math that I did, which again is a bit of girl math, I have to admit that, but let's say you're competing with an agency that is a clone of you. You have the exact same systems, the same creators, whatever, and you're competing with each other. It's like a fucking race. And this agency, your clone, gives feedback once a week. Every chatter has like a weekly feedback session where they say, hey, you did this bad, this chat was good, all of this stuff. But you as an agency give every single employee feedback every single day. You are gonna scale 7 times faster because your employees progress 7 times faster. Because employees have a compounding effect. Every single chatter you have, every marketing employee, every supervisor, manager, whoever works for you, even your cleaning lady at this point, all of them get better over time. You don't just hire like Elon Musk or whatever for your COO. It doesn't happen. So your employees are essentially like an investment account, and the more money or time you put in there, the more return you get out of it. So your daily feedback, while it's annoying and I fucking hate it, all right? I don't want to talk to chatters or supervisors or managers all day. I hate it. But this is what makes you progress 7 times faster if you do it daily compared to most agencies who, if they do it at all, they do it weekly, and even then it's kind of like unstructured. They just send a Loom video or go on Discord. So daily team feedback, as shit as it is probably the easiest way you get your team and your creators also to a completely new level. Because again, like we talked about, imagine you have the most optimal model in your agency, like in the first speech, how much money would you probably make? You can have the same exact example with what if you had the best possible employee, like a fucking Jordan Belfort as a chatter, for example, right? Working 10-hour days, giving every single chat his everything, trying, like all of us chatted in the beginning, if you remember, right? When we started chatting, we were locked the fuck in. You know how much money you could make in the chatting if this guy worked for you, but he doesn't. And that's not probably why, because you hired the wrong person, but you never helped him progress to that level. This is why daily team feedback is so important. Now, we are going to get to the 2026 meta.
Can I jump in there really quick?
Please, please.
Do you find really honestly having to do this daily is a bit too much, or rather than doing it like every other day? So you you give them time to actually activate on what they're doing instead of just wasting time, or at least if you're doing it daily, you have to be very focused.
Oh yeah.
15, 20 minutes, don't waste in overly long meetings. Basically.
That's a very, very good question. And yeah, we have to kind of separate the difference on feedback, right? So in our agency, we have one weekly one-on-one session where you have two ways of feedback. You have, hey, listen, you know how this is supposed to be done, you just didn't do it here, do it better, you know? For example, hey, with this big spender, I just seen your objection and you could have done it a different way, which it's very light, you know? He's just like, all right, yeah. And then you can follow up the next day like, hey, did you have a chance to implement that? Cool. You don't need much feedback and he doesn't need time to implement that. You can do all of this light stuff on a daily basis on their work. But also, yeah, there's big feedback. Like if we notice a chatter, for example, or a supervisor, that's a better example. If we notice a supervisor has problems motivating the chatters, that's a deeper problem and that needs time to implement. So we would bring that up on a weekly one-on-one, for example, on Monday, and then we run him through it, right? Okay, we hop on a call or on a Discord. Okay, what is your problem with that? Why doesn't it work? Okay, do you understand why this is important? Yes. Okay, then tell me, what are you currently doing? We do a whole feedback session and we say, okay, for this week, focus on these 3 things to make it better. Next Monday, we sit down together and say, okay, how did it go? Give me some examples, right? Keep them accountable. So we definitely differentiate between like how heavy and how deep the feedback is because, yeah, for example, leading people, we can't get that done in 50 minutes, right? But very valid question. Like I fully agree with that for sure. Does that answer it? Perfect. Now, the current 2026 meta on IG, we kind of talked about that in the previous speech because I couldn't shut up about it. So we're going to make this fairly quick. But if you guys remember, we're going to study what's viral now, do our sentiment analysis, find out, okay, what are the do's and don'ts in our specific niche, and the creators who, I will drop these little numbers to kind of have some new information here, creators you want to copy from or get your learnings from need to be maximum 3 times the size of yours. So let's say you have a creator with 10K on Instagram, you don't want to copy from creators that have like 500K followers because they go viral because they have 500K followers, or maybe there was some initial engagement needed to get this video going. So follow creators that have maximum 3 times the size of yours, and videos that you want to see as positive examples in that niche should have gotten at least 2 to 3 times the views than the average. So you have an account that makes 100K views on average. Every video that gotten 300K views or above is a proven concept and you can copy from it. It worked better than the others. That makes sense. Now, obviously, recreate at high standard, like we already talked about. You can get AI for that. But the last thing that we didn't cover in the last speech, for all of you who've been paying attention, is our individual twist. Because in the last speech, I said you have to do it equal or better when a video is giga viral and you want to copy what they're doing to a certain degree. But the way we want to add to it, the way we want to make individual, so we're not just randomly copying other creators, is bring our unique niche into it. For example, there's a dance going on that nurses do. It's like a nurse trend. Okay, I'm just making up shit on my head, all right? But there's a nurse trend, like to all the nurses, let's dance for the patients. Instagram stuff, all right? Now, you can twist this, and once that's viral enough, you can say, okay, I'm just going to do this, and then for all my OF sluts, or for all my volleyball players, for all my teachers, whatever your niche is, right? So now you add your unique twist, and it's kind of like a second part of the movie. People already seen the first trend, but now they want to see, okay, what is different to this? People like it, people watch it. Locations, obviously. Heritage, okay, she's a Latina, cool. That makes the video more interesting, makes it different, cool. SEO text, again, there's certain videos that go super viral and it's a certain trend. For example, if I had to think of a certain video, this was back in the TikTok days, I don't know who if you remembers this, but there was a certain trend, and I think some of you have showed this too. There was a trend where chicks, there was a police car filter. I'm going to reference this because this was fucking insane. There was a filter on TikTok where they had a police car through half the screen. So this part of the screen you couldn't see. Gonna get important later. And they had a text with like POV, me running away from the police after I dated, I don't know, a white guy or whatever. So it was like a very family-friendly trend. So the way we used that and we twisted it was essentially we put our own text, POV, me running from the police after, I think it was showing a nude to the gender reveal or something like that. And the creator would pull up her top, like without a bra or anything, but the filter would cut up her breast, so you wouldn't actually see it. What we did is, and this is where it gets cool, we put a different SEO text up there saying, by the way, if you share this on Snapchat, the filter disappears. So what happened, like we talked about, shares are pretty fucking important. I woke up, and I will admit I was kind of drunk when I got that video done. I woke up and we were like 15 million views because this video had like, I think 500K likes, but 900K shares. Went super fucking viral because the trend itself was cool, but we put a layer on top, and now the trend completely fucking exploded. Also because of the Snapchat thing. You're free to try that out. I'm 100% confident if you do the same shit nowadays, you find an Instagram filter that hides your boobs, say if you share it on there, it disappears. I guarantee you that's your next viral video. But keep me updated on that. I can swear to God that still works. Now, to kind of quickly, I mean, we already talked about the unique filter. Next thing I'm gonna go to is the content frameworks that are working right now. So the specific video ideas where in our own agency and every single agency I work with, we see the biggest upright potential. Makes sense. First one, obviously sketches. The reason they work is because it is mainstream content, right? You have to understand, like to kind of put that into perspective, obviously I'm not gonna draw a circle on the wall here, you're gonna be pretty pissed off at me. But imagine like this is the OF bubble on Instagram. This is all the sexual shit. All the chicks that are super sexual and are horny all day. This is how big that bubble is of people that actually give a shit. Because if you actually got some shit to do in your life, you're probably not horny more than one hour per day. So people in this 1 hour time window, this is the OnlyFans bubble. But from here until here is the overall mainstream bubble. And the more mainstream your videos are, the more you don't scare people of being too aggressive in your sexuality, the more you're not just randomly in a bikini and twerking, the more you get access to this market cap. And this is where your videos go to 10, 20, 50 million views. So the beauty about sketches is this is like the main content that people do on Instagram. So obviously you can have 2-person skits, you can even do it alone. Like me if I was in a horror movie and then she's like acting all like scared or whatever. Sketches are incredibly good. They don't have the highest conversion, but this is our top of funnel / middle of funnel. This is what drives people onto your page. You can convert them over stories and other reels later. Now, I already put a couple of reference creators in every single time. You guys can just take a photo, look them up later. CS Modeling, Anja Matuzovic, great aesthetics, great sketches. Works perfectly. And the beautiful thing about sketches is you can just copy them one-on-one because they always get stolen anyway. This is the one thing where I won't be mad at you for just copying shit one-on-one because it always works. But obviously your creator needs to have that certain personality. If she's super shy, she might not work that well. But again, you can test all of these out after the event. Make 2 or 3 videos each with every single one of these verticals, track the results, and you already have a content plan for the next 2 months. Next one, obviously OF trends, relatable memes, right? I was careful of putting relatable OF meme content in here because it started working for us, but I'm also against OF content, so I was kind of like irritated if it's a good idea, but overall, relatable stuff, all right? You can either have OF memes, like yada yada, but overall memes where the purpose of the video is to be relatable, fire. Most creators just do like a selfie video. They take a cam and they're just filming themselves in slow-mo and done this one time where I got on a date and the guy was like not paying for the drinks, whatever. Your core audience can relate to. Makes sense, great for rage baiting, great for getting engagement. Now again, super broad topic, Zoe like at Alone at Home, Anja Matuzovic, again, they're great. And the aesthetics are something that you will have trouble copying, but their videos are pretty fucking fire. Relatable content, super amazing. Again, relatable content for, let's say, the average guy on Instagram that may have an OnlyFans account, but he's not super deep into all the sexual stuff. With relatable content, you just break out of that OnlyFans space and you have 100 times the market cap that you can potentially get, which is why most agencies are stuck on Instagram, by the way, because you can't compete on sexuality. That's something that I've talked about for years, I think most of you know. But sexuality is so uninteresting to people nowadays because everyone is sexual. You either have to be giga-sexual and get banned all the time, like you have double F breasts or whatever, or you basically not get any views, but you can't do that with most creators and you lose all of your accounts. So this is the next best thing for you to get a way higher awareness, aka the top of funnel. Next one, obviously speaking content still works. Harder now because of all the AI voice swapping stuff, so the competition just gets higher. Like 1 year ago, if you have an Argentinian creator that doesn't speak English, you couldn't do it. But now every idiot discovered 11 Labs and you have a bunch of competition. But these videos perform extremely well because they are the perfect tool for engagement baiting. You just let your creator, for example, tell a story. Again, you need to test, does she have a personality that works well in front of the camera? If she speaks like a little deer, like super quiet voice, not gonna work. But once she figures that out, just pick a pick-me text where people are either telling her, no, don't worry about it, you're beautiful, like she's talking about being insecure for her big breasts or whatever, like, oh. Or you write some completely rage baity, like I already said, like, yeah, guys with blonde hair are such an ick. Then the whole blonde community is bashing on you and you get 50,000 comments, the video goes viral, right? Obviously, like I said, the energy of the creator is super important, so you have to test out if she's able to do that. Sophie Jane, perfect for that. I've seen so many speaking videos of her, I feel like I know her at this point, it's fucking crazy. Asia Riggs, also great. Again, you can take just a screenshot of this, research it yourself. I didn't want to put like the fucking videos of her in the presentation for copyright reasons. But the next format that we're doing currently that's extremely well, obviously revealing content to a certain degree. Now, to quickly differentiate, I don't mean flash trends in itself. I don't mean our creator stands in front of the camera, dances a bit and takes her top off and shows her tits. That's way too aggressive and that scares people off. But revealing content, and this is again mainstream content that most females do that use social media without OnlyFans most of the time. They just say, oh, I bought a new dress, and then, for example, take the jacket off, it highlights the curves, hides her weaknesses, shows her strengths, who remembers that, right? It's something that works very well, especially for creators that you're just trying to figure out which outfits work for her. Because if you can take one thing out of this presentation, I'd like it to be that for every single thing that we do, we have a spreadsheet and we test it. So this dress, let's say 7 out of 10. This dress, 5 out of 10. This top, 9 out of 10. Every single piece of outfit, we rank it and we see how much the people like it until we figure out, okay, this creator works perfect in jeans. Everybody loves it. This creator works perfect in big oversized hoodies because she looks cute anyway. People love it. They fall in love. But this is the one thing, and revealing content like showing her new outfit, whatever, perfect for testing that. Just to kind of go a bit deeper into the theoretical side, which I warned you guys about. Don't blame me. Next one, which is something that has been viral for a longer time, but we just got into it like a few months ago, which is walking content. So there's a couple of variations you can do here. So you can basically, you need a camera person for this. Maybe your creator has a friend or a brother or a sister, or whoever helps you film that. Maybe you do it yourself. But your creator just walking through the city, you filming, and for example, filming the reactions of people. You all know this, like people walking through the city and you can see the reactions of people turning their heads around. If you're super smart, you get your friends to stay in the background and turn their heads, which is a bit more hard to do. You can also do videos where she's on a treadmill, you film her ass. If she has a very big ass and that's like one of her USPs, you can have that content. Now, obviously, the quality here needs to be super, super high because outdoor content itself is very complicated and most people struggle with having good quality, good sound, good locations. You kind of have to see what's near her living location. But this stuff is so easy to do. It takes you 10 seconds to record per video. You can literally just have it create a walk in a straight line, record video 1, video 2, video 3, and the time effort required and the ROI is fucking insane. For all of you who have trouble getting enough content out of your creators, this is exactly how we do it. Now, Ashley Rose, Sophie Lauren, again, they do amazing walking content, whether it is outside with public reactions, whether it's on a treadmill, whether it's like just going on a walk in the park and someone films it from behind. All of that works. Now, to give you guys a little cheat code, if you want to get 20% more watch time, the only thing you need to do is put the video in Snapchat and put a Snapchat text over it. Like, I just caught Sophie Lauren in the park and it looks like a stalker filmed her. It doesn't matter which video you do, if it's outside, you put a Snapchat text on it, watch time goes up 20%. It's so beautiful and it's so stupid. But we tested a bunch of times. Snapchat text converts super fucking high right now. Now, obviously, for all of these formats that I mentioned, the core of it is good content, high quality, unique twist. So all of these video formats are important and you need to test out different verticals for each creator. So each of the creators should have, after this presentation, 4 or 5 video ideas that you see her work well in and you test them over time to really nail it down. Okay, this actually works, this actually doesn't work. But this all relies on using the blocks, the 5 blocks that I showed earlier, because you don't know if videos work good if there wasn't a hook. Of course nobody watched it, right? So this is the important thing. What I'm going to go to now, so 4th chapter, which is our onboarding system to get our creators pop off on Instagram. Now, I tried to put it into 10 steps and I could probably talk 30 minutes about each and every single one of these steps. We can happily talk about that later, especially like when we do like the round circles with the tables I talked about. But first thing I want to mention, even though we covered it, I'm just going to make it quick. If you sign creators out of desperation, it's impossible to scale. Like if you get girls on that are good enough, like we talked about, they kind of have it, but they try to work at least. Like especially with Instagram, you're completely fucked. So make sure the creators that you onboard have all of the green flags and no red flags before. I've talked about this, right? Now, first 5 steps from how we onboard creators. I'm going to look at my MacBook for that for a second. First thing our creators do is fill out a questionnaire, and we ask them 50 different questions at this point. Because what happens if you ask them 5 questions, they're just gonna quickly do it and you're not gonna get an answer to every single one of them. We ask the same questions like 5 times and then at some point we get the information. We ask them, what equipment do you have? We need a room tour, right? What lighting do you have? Do you have a light ring? What locations can you film in? What outfits do you have? What boundaries do you have? How often can you record? Do you have any hobbies? What did you do as a child? Like obviously, did you play an instrument? Did you play volleyball? Because we can use all of that in content, right? So big ass questionnaire that we send them. Next up, we hop on a first call with the creator and kind of set the standard of what's about to happen. So we're like, hey, this is person 1 for marketing, person 2 for marketing. They're going to be in charge of this, yada, yada. This is the next game plan. We have a little presentation. This is what's going to happen next. We're going to have the accounts and we try different videos. It's not going to show results immediately, manage expectations, right? Also, we ask them, okay, are you cool with this? Are you cool with that? Are you cool with us doing it like that? You kind of test like how cool they are with things. And again, we have models that go into the leadership call and we figure out they're fucking incompetent and we don't want to work with them because they tell us, well, yeah, can we actually do this? I think I know better than you guys. We should probably do this, which I don't know about you guys. I hate working with that. I'm like, you know what? This is not going to work out. I'm sorry, right? Though this is a testing call, but it's also mainly to set a standard of how work gets done in your agency. Like, okay, in our agency, we communicate proactively. We give replies always. If you are not able to do content, you tell us before, so we don't have to follow you up. And also, you kind of manage the expectations, aka, hey, completely normal. We got a whole strategy figured out, okay? The first 1 or 2 months, just assume nothing is gonna happen. If it does, perfect, but we're planning to make great views in month 3, which is not true. We probably get it done sooner, but we prevent telling our creators, oh yeah, we're gonna make millions, we're gonna make like thousands of views per second, and then it doesn't happen because an account gets banned and she leaves. So this is what our leadership call is for. Next up, we do a test round for videos, right? We're not trying to upload them per se. We're just trying to make her get comfortable with recording, because you may think that some creators are comfortable recording reels, like porn stars and girls who've done social media for years. Trust me, they aren't. They're always gonna fuck it up, and they're always gonna feel uncomfortable at first because it's new people. Am I doing it right? Super self-critical. So we do a quick first round of videos, super easy, you know, like fucking speaking content, just walking around outdoor, doing a little dance, just see what she feels natural with and help her set up the routine of filming content where she's comfortable. Now, after that, we plan out our content calendars, so we tell her which feeds content we need, which story content, give her direction, which she has anyway in her gallery, by the way. She just needs to send you. And then, while we already have a couple of videos online, we can already start analyzing her accounts, analyzing similar accounts, like I said, with the sentiment analysis, and then start our whole operation of finding the content pieces that work well specifically for her, right? Finding the patterns while she's already doing content. This is when we start. Now, after that, in the second part of the whole onboarding, we have our second round of test videos, which is based on the first round, right? With more specific instructions to the video, more little things, more details, multiple variations. And with that, with all of the data, we have the questionnaire, we have our boundaries, we have a couple of content where we see how it works. Now we create our marketing concept. Now we sit down as a team and we identify, okay, let's try these 5 video ideas at first, right? Let's try to go here. Let's try to have this audience. These are creators that already do it well. Let's start a sentiment analysis, right? This is when we actually put together the plan, not directly when we onboard her. Obviously, present that concept to her, ask her if she's cool with that, ask her if she's cool filming outside, filming in these outfits, filming with these wordings, all that stuff. And from then on, we just put them into the feedback loop, what I said earlier, right? Everybody needs feedback. So we then start filming the content, all of that stuff, but we give her feedback every single time. Now, the way we give feedback is also a bit important, because if she fucks up a video, we're not going to her telling her, hey, you're a fucking idiot, like what the fuck were you doing? Then obviously she's not gonna record ever again. We always give her a lot of positive feedback, even if it's just like random stuff. Oh yeah, this is great, you're doing amazing, you're doing way better than most creators, congrats. And we always give a bit of negative feedback. Even if there isn't, we always find something so it's more believable. Like if you guys ask me how I like your agency, I'm like, oh yeah, you're doing everything perfectly, keep going. You'd be like, this guy didn't even look at it, right? Like obviously I didn't give a fuck in that situation. But if I'm like, okay, your reels are fire, your chatting is fire, but you have to work on the lighting, man. You'd be like, okay, cool, like I can work with that. So obviously also hard feedback, frame it before, tell her, listen, we're in this as a team, you're not doing it bad, we just want to try different things, yada yada. But she needs to get feedback every single time, otherwise she's not going to get better. And after that, follow our account creation SOP, which will take too much right now, and we go live, we start posting, and we build the accounts up further. Now, the next chapter, which I could make 3 hours long, is how to prevent bans. But how do we stay alive in this industry as much as possible? We're all going to get banned. I'm just going to quickly cover it. But the best example I can give for this is for you to imagine yourself as a fucking big tree. And the more roots you put out there, the more safety measures you have in place, the harder it is to push that tree over. And in that scenario, the big tree wouldn't make any money on OnlyFans. So what actually matters in order to prevent bans are basically the top 3. More phones, obviously the answer depends on your budget that you have as an agency. But obviously, as we all know, the more accounts you have per phone, the more likely it is they're all just going to get banned at the same time. We're just going to get nuked per phone. So all the important accounts you have, the main accounts, the 100, 200, 300K, millions of follower accounts, they need one phone each and no other accounts. So you're super safe. Because the second one account gets banned, the chances you're going to lose all of them on the phone are way higher. Unique everything like what you talked about, every single piece of content, not just the reels, by the way, the profile pictures, the bios, the links, the stories you post, all of it needs to be completely unique. We had accounts banned, and we don't have 100% confirmation, but we had accounts banned at the same time because they had the same highlights, nothing else. So you need to be super diligent about this. I know it's a big pain in the ass. I know it's a lot of headaches, but this is what changes your agency from, oh, we're getting banned every single month, we can't grow, to we have a couple of bans occasionally, but overall we are able to build up assets because that's what big accounts are, right? Also SIM cards as well. You don't want to post more than a couple of reels over a single IP, over a single Wi-Fi network. So start using SIM cards from your own country, from the model's country, post over the mobile data, not over the Wi-Fi. Helps. And all of these things, by the way, They're not preventing you to get banned, 100%. They can't. You're always going to get banned to a certain degree. But doing these 3 things and doing them diligently gets your ban rate down by at least 60 to 70%. Like, if you ignore all of this, you're going to lose probably every single account after a certain time. But if you follow all of them, you're going to lose like 2 out of 10 accounts on average, which, as you can imagine, if you are able to build up 8 of the existing accounts way further, they're going to go viral more and more. So the amount of money this brings you is super, super high, even if it doesn't feel like it. Now, quickly, why bans happen. For example, integrity bans, like we already talked about. Instagram is actively looking to get connections between accounts because they know every single idiot has like 20 accounts nowadays. This is like one of the biggest plague they have of trying to get bots and all of these impersonators out. So every single thing here, like what we talked about, needs to be individual. Almost forgot the word here, but I saved it. Now, the mindset you should have in terms of these bans is like you're in court. I hope none of you had the experience so far, but imagine Instagram is trying to sue your ass, right? So you just want to prove that you're not doing anything wrong because, hey, listen, Mr. Judge, Mr. Instagram, I have unique content on every single account. I just do like aesthetic videos, mainstream videos, right? Instagram can think, all right, this is just a normal creator. I have a secondary link in the bio, and basically all of the bans that you get, you take screenshots, you ask AI like Claude or ChatGPT why it happened, get the reasons out of it. This makes you look pretty basically non-suspicious, and you also can prevent future bans. But if you, like I said, pitch directly on main accounts, or you have post the same video overall and all of the shit that we talked about, then Instagram can prove that it's you, it's the same person. You're just always gonna have problems even getting accounts back when they get banned. Because this is what Instagram does. They're like a detective. They're trying to find clues, if that makes it easier to understand. They're just trying to find a clue to ban you. So you don't want to give them any ammunition if it happens. Now, should it, which it will eventually, to be fair, basic 4-step playbook, get a new username, new profile pic, new phone plus IP, and then just wait. You ideally have a couple of accounts and backups, so ideally if you have 5 accounts you post from, you have at least 2 or 3 that you have in the back pocket. You don't post on them actively, but in case one of the accounts get banned, 2 get banned, you can immediately replace them, and you don't have to wait a fucking week until you warm up the new accounts again. So these are the simple steps. Again, feel free to take a picture. It's really not that complicated. That's the entire thing we do. Obviously, if you have an unbanned rep, like Liquid Back is the one we use, you can always try to get accounts back that are big, but this is the exact thing you need to do when you get an account banned. Everything after that, your unbanned rep can help you, but besides that, obviously identify why you got banned and try to prevent it in the future. Now, and I can tell you this because we didn't only test this in my agency, but in all of the agencies I work with. 80% of bans happen because this exact SOP that I just showed you guys for fucking free, more or less, was not followed. The other 20% is the game, right? You just get fucked. All right, you post a video where it was a bit more too sexual. Sometimes you have to, right? Bottom of funnel. Sometimes you show a bit of tits, a bit of body. But 80% of the bans are preventable by following this SOP. It's effort, it's costing time, it's costing money, it's costing energy. But this is how you prevent 80% of bans, literally. Now, the next chapter that I'm quickly going to get into is how to actually scale Instagram while being smart. Because we don't want to just randomly blast out more content, get more creators, try out more videos. We want to kind of have a plan, if that makes sense, without burning the creator out, which is, funnily enough, more or less times the bottleneck. Now, what we noticed, and this is a very logical statement, you're going to notice in a sec, is every creator who increased their output while keeping the quality up made more money. AKA, you have a creator, she has the same quality, but she just records a bit more content, she makes more money. So, every single time. Meaning, your creator should only be responsible for recording content. This is like if you hire a cook for, like, let's say a restaurant. He is in charge of cooking food. If he starts bringing drinks to guests, you're gonna lose money. Hire a fucking waiter or don't serve drinks. Your cook should be cooking and should do it all day. Same way, if your model has to, I don't know, post the videos herself, do her research herself, take care of her taxes, all the little things that cost her the time, you're gonna make less money. So you should create an infrastructure where a creator, her only task in a day is creating content. This is the only thing she is responsible for. Everything else you can outsource. But second of all, we get something that's called the Hormozi method, right? If you remember that. We kind of touched on it earlier, but Alex Hormozi had this time where he talked about it. I like the guy, he's cool. But he had a time where he shot like 1,000 ads with different hooks every single time, and then switched up the hooks like we talked about, right? Swapping everything. So scaling Instagram, the first step is always going to be I could make a whole drawing of this, but let's say you have one video that worked well. It's a trend of the girl in a red dress doing a dance. This is your viral video, right? Now, what you will do to scale her Instagram up is say, okay, we're gonna have 4 variations of that video. Now, one where we change the outfit, so instead of a red dress, it's a blue dress. One where we change the location, so she's still in a red dress doing the same shit, but now she's doing it outside. One where you change the text, for example, okay, same red dress, same location, but a different text that is cooler, I guess, and one where you change the hook, for example. Now you have 4 different variations, and out of those, maybe 1 or 2 are still gonna get more views. So now you can see, okay, as long as we keep the red dress, she keeps making views. So now let's have a variation of the red dress video. Let's have a different text here, different hook here again. So it's like a pyramid scheme. You can still go all the way down every single time. So outfits, movement, texts, all that stuff, vary your videos as much as you can. I guarantee you, you probably all have, let's say 5 viral videos on your accounts. 5 videos that have done well, I guess. You can turn each and every single one of those videos into 20+ content pieces just by testing shit out, and the majority is going to get more views again. So you already have a marketing method on your account, you're just not using it. And I'm not even talking about recreating viral videos 101, which what you should also do, to be fair. But viral videos allow you to have 5 variations of this video, and the ones that work again 5 variations, out of those, again 5 variations, and so on. So you're sitting on at least 100 different content ideas on your existing accounts right now, which have the highest chance of going viral again, but you're not using them. You're doing random trends that you saw on your For You page, which doesn't make sense. So this is the first step that we do to scale our Instagram. Now, the next thing, which I held like a group call about it like recently, is our raw data library. So who of you would say they're kind of an expert with AI? Someone? Cool. Couple of people, right? Who of you knows Claude AI? Okay, most. Okay, that does make me happy. I was a bit scared, but all right, that's very good. So what we do is we just feed Claude like an entire project of little samples of all of our content, right? I'm not going to go too much into because it's very technical, but we feed Claude all the different hooks that we do from every single video. We feed it every single piece of content, every single amount of views we do. So our Claude at this point in time knows more about our content than we do. So we can just say, hey, we want to try, like, here's the content instruction, optimize it. And he's going to look at all the hooks that work, look at all the numbers, say, okay, this hook is perfect. So you can create a very big library of data, which again, not the biggest step. It's going to take some effort, but I swear to God, this thing that we put together knows more about our marketing right now than my employees, because he doesn't forget. He doesn't act based on feelings. He just acts on data, on the numbers, and on the content pieces attached to it. The more data you give it, the better it is, which is something that, I mean, I can tell the story. I told it like recently in Club 17, but I think we fired like 20% of our marketing team because of this. Because I noticed like we're able to outsource the majority of people who put together our content list with that, which I'm not trying to give Claude ideas from scratch. I'm not telling my AI, for example, come up with a content plan. AI is shit about that. They can't. But I'm coming to Claude with a content idea, and he's optimizing it with all the building blocks that we talked about, the 5, if you remember, and it puts out an entirely new content list that most of the time performs way better than my marketing team. So as a CEO, you're running an enterprise, so you kind of have to lay off people that are not being able to compete with AI. But just to kind of throw that in as a little nugget if you want to go into that. Now, obviously, I'm just going to make this point super quick. You can, if you want to scale the Instagram, there's a third method. You can get very professional with your video editing, which we tried and it worked a couple of times. Obviously, this is something that depends very, very largely on your creators. So this has to happen on creators that already get a certain amount of numbers, and also it's pretty obvious. Like, okay, get a good editor, tell them exactly what you want based on examples you see on other creators, because there's creators who have crazy editing and they go viral every single time, and then just scale it up over time. That makes sense. Now, what if I had to say, because most of you, I kind of know what you're doing in your agency, maybe like 10 or 15% of you are currently in a position where that makes sense, but since it's a very valuable thing for us, I thought I would just throw it in to make sense. Now, obviously, kind of, however I put that in the presentation 2 times, we definitely use AI a lot, right? We use AI to kind of optimize a lot of shit that we do. So a lot of pictures our model has in her gallery, for example, we can't use. She has probably 1,000 pictures of herself in cool positions that we can't use because the room is dirty or she doesn't have makeup, whatever. So we just get all the content she has, even if we can't use it, just kind of throw it into an AI and get a way bigger amount of content out of it because it kind of cleans everything up, makes it look better. Cool. Obviously, mixing AI clips with real B-roll also makes perfect sense. For example, she has a clip of her like in the gym where she's running, and then we quickly create an AI clip where it's like outside in the woods because it's a cooler background. You get what I mean? There's a lot of content creation AIs out there. Onlymade.ai is amazing for that. I can also share that when we talk privately, but just to kind of have do's and don'ts here. Obviously, don't try to fully AI create your post unless you're really being deep into the AI OFM. I think some of you have talked to, they're very deep into it. If you're an AI expert, this is amazing. I've seen like 3 hands open when I asked about that. So again, if you're really an expert with AI and you're able to create a content pipeline that makes sense, amazing to do. For most of us, it's not. Because most people need like a fucking hour to create a good reel from AI, so it does look realistic. Which, if you calculate your time and your hourly rate, that loses your money. Just to kind of put that out there. It's not a universal rule. And also, don't use AI on your babies. What I mean by that, obviously, not literal, out of legal reasons, but your top creators, the ones that bring in the most money, they should have the leverage of creating content yourself. Because AI is a very good crutch, but AI still has the potential to fuck up your account. So if you have one creator that brings in 80% of the revenue, don't risk her account with AI content. Because A, you can burn your subscribers if they find that out, but B, Instagram is very critical about AI nowadays. So to kind of put that into account, to kind of switch back from AI and to go into the daily output you want to have, because we haven't even talked about that so far. Your daily output per day should be 2 proven videos that you know work well based on the numbers and like 1 or 2 trial reels. Everything unique, you can kind of test around the numbers. You don't want to go above 3 videos per day per account. You can post them to Facebook, which is something that helps you reach a new audience algorithm-wise, but it fucks up your numbers. Just to kind of give you guys that decision. I'm not going to tell you to do it or not, but just keep in mind, if you know this, right? Post to Facebook Reels, you get like 1 million views and no subs. That's Facebook Reels. The problem that you have here is you don't know if your numbers work. You don't know if the video actually got a bunch of views or if it was just a bad one. You always have to check the analytics. But this is essentially our daily output. We don't have that much output in terms of volume compared to other agencies I know. I have a friend of mine who has like 2,000 accounts at once. But he makes less views than we do. And this is not because we are like the biggest experts ever, but it's just because of the building blocks that we focus on quality before quantity, and our videos perform best individually. Just to give a quick recap, because this speech has been going on for a while. The system for scaling Instagram and the exact thing that we currently do is the following. Every video has 5 building blocks that get controlled every single time to make sure it's able to get views. We focus on 4 areas, right? Unique content, our hooks, the different lanes, top of funnel, middle of funnel, etc., and how we execute it. Every single creator has 5 different content verticals we try out with them. The examples I gave you, sketches, trends, speakings, whatever. We onboard creators through a 10-step onboarding program to make sure they're able to do the content, they're able to do the content good, and they stay with us for years and then don't get burned out after like a month of shooting reels, and obviously try to not get banned, as all of us do, with a very specific SOP. You can literally just follow the system, which we tested hundreds of times. That's like a good closing statement. All of the things I mentioned to you, it's not like I sat at home like taking snooze and thinking, oh, what could I tell at the event? That's stuff that I literally just opened all of my spreadsheets, looked at all the results of all the split tests, all the things we tried, all the things we got analysis done on, and this is basically the summary of everything. So basically, if you execute all of these things, I guarantee your Instagram is going to go up, which we can talk about later in the one-on-ones, but this has been the presentation. So again, let's take like a 10-15 minute break, get some coffee, all right?